Okay, so it looks like a lot of us are struggling on this Khan Academy practice called solving angles formed by parallel lines and transversals. So let's go ahead and take a shot here. Let's go and see if I can help you out. So first of all, you guys always want to make sure that you read very carefully what is true about this problem, because there's no arrows marked, but it does say lines L, M, and N are parallel to each other. Okay, so we know line L is parallel to line M is parallel to line N. Okay, and you guys can draw the little like parallel arrows if you'd like, just so you know for a fact those three are parallel. And then it also tells us that P is a transversal. So P is the line that crosses through those parallel lines. Now, throughout this video, please pause throughout, because I'm not going to take time to just be quiet, and have you copy stuff down. So I'm going to go through this relatively quickly. So I would recommend pausing throughout the video, making sure you're all caught up, making sure you understand each step I've done. Okay? Now, again, with parallel lines and transversals, we have been focusing on the angle pair relationships. All right? So first, you guys want to see what angles are all equal to each other. So I just like to start in the top left. So if I were to start here and draw my little blue angle, I'm going to make that a little bit smaller. And then I'm going to duplicate, and then I'm going to duplicate this guy here and drag it down to its congruent corresponding angle here. Okay. And then I'm going to duplicate and start marking my vertical angles that I know are also congruent here, and then it's corresponding up above, and then the other corresponding. So now we know that all those blue angles are indeed congruent. Okay, let's go and mark the other angles. So I'll just use pink. Okay, so we have X is a pink angle. All right, and then again, since these are parallel lines and transversals, I can just duplicate these and start marking up all the other congruent angles here. My vertical angles, I just did all the corresponding, and now I'm going to do all the corresponding to this vertical angle. It's just like a huge puzzle, right? Hopefully you guys are pretty solid with that and understanding how you can mark all of your congruent angles. So we are given a specific piece of information here. We are told that angle X is equal to 2 times angle Y. Times angle Y. So that's really important for us to have. Let's go ahead and label some of these angles up here, because like I see that blue plus the angle X is equal to 180 because they are supplementary, right? And then I know that all the blue angles are equal to angle Y, and I could have put it here as well, right? It doesn't really matter. But I'll just go ahead and use this one. I know that angle X plus angle Y are equal to 180 degrees. Okay, so angle X plus angle Y are equal to 180 degrees. So now our goal here is just to try to figure out what those measurements actually are. Now what's really nice here is that we are told angle X is equal to 2 times angle Y. So I want to plug 2 times angle Y in for angle X, because they are equal. Because whenever you're solving for a variable, you want only one variable to solve for. I cannot solve for both angle X and angle Y right here, but I know angle X is equal to 2 times angle Y. So if I substitute that in for angle X, now the only variable I have to figure out is angle Y. Now, treat angle Y just like it is any other variable. It is one variable, just like one variable X, or, I didn't even need to draw the angle symbol here. I could have just said angle or just Y. But I do want you guys to see angle Y is just a placeholder because we don't know its measurement. Now, here it's the same thing as 2 angle Y 2 angle Y plus 1 angle Y. Just as though like we would have 2x plus 1x. That is going to equal 3 times angle Y. We're just combining like terms here. And now we are almost done solving for angle Y. So here now, if we want to solve for angle Y, we divide both sides by 3. This will be 1 angle Y is equal to 60 degrees. So now we know that all of the angle Y's up here are 60 degrees. So all of the blue angles we now know are 60 degrees. And in order to find angle x, we know angle x is 2 times angle y. And if angle y is 60, we know it's 120. But you could have also just seen that, oh, well, they're supplementary, so all the pink ones must be 120 degrees in order to add up to 180 on that straight line. So you guys might have already realized, well, angle Z, way down below, is 120 degrees. So the goal all along was to find the measure of angle Z, but you see how I didn't really focus on that. I focused on finding all of the angle measurements I possibly could, and then being like, oh, okay, so angle Z is 120 degrees. So you want to put your focus on like what's given to you, like what info is given to you, and how you can use it to find all of these angle measurements. Okay? So please pause the video if you're not done copying that down, because I'm moving on to the next problem. Alright, so here we know lines L and M are parallel. So again, make sure to copy this down, maybe pause the video. And this one actually has 2 transversals. So this line AC is a transversal. And even this other line here, it doesn't like go all the way out, but it does cut through our parallel lines. So this is another transversal that we might have to end up using. Now, I notice here, I'm like, oh wow, look at that. There is a triangle in here. This is a triangle. Okay, that might be useful, it might not be, but it's good to just recognize, like, okay, cool. And then I also notice that all of my angles here that I'm given, 95, 44, and x, are supplementary. They all add up to equal 180 degrees because they create a straight angle. Now I see I have x here, and our goal is to find x. So, knowing that these are all supplementary, we know that the 95 plus x plus 44 is all equal to 180 degrees. Okay, so go ahead and solve for x if you want. Pause the video so you can solve for it on your own. Here we have 139 plus x is equal to 180. If we subtract both sides by 139, okay, we will get x is equal to 41 degrees. Alright, so your answer here is 41 degrees. So again, pause the video if you need to finish copying that down. Alright, here it tells us right away lines L and M are parallel to each other. So this line is parallel to this line M here. Okay, and then we also have some transversals. Now again, it does look kind of weird because I know it doesn't go like all the way across, right? But if you were to draw like little dashed lines to keep on going, you can kind of see like how the transversal would look if it were actually drawn completely out. Okay. Alright, so you can see it creates a few things here. These few things are going to be very important for us. So our goal here is to find x. So it is good to like look at what you're trying to look for, especially in something that's as kind of messy as this. So we're trying to find angle x. Now I notice again that I have a little triangle here that might be very helpful. I don't know if it will, but you know, it might be. So what we want to do is try to get as close as we can to angle x and find all the other angle measurements that are supposed to go near it. Now we're given this 54 for a reason. Okay? So that 54 degrees, let's see. It's 54 degrees. Let's see what is congruent to it. So if I were to take this and go along that transversal to the 54 degrees. Now you guys notice this is not where I would stop. I'm going to stop after the parallel line and the transversal. Okay, so I know that angle is also 54. I'm going to make this guy a little bit smaller. Alright, and then if I were to do this vertical angle here, this one would also be 54 degrees. Okay? Now you might be like, oh, well, can't you just slide that up to the x? You cannot, and I'll show you guys why. Okay? So if I were to get that angle and duplicate it and flip it, if you guys would be like, well, isn't the x just equal to 54? But if you go up here, you see that those two angles are not congruent because you have to go all the way across to the other parallel line. All right, so that's how corresponding angles work if they're congruent. So, however, this does give us info here that this is 54 degrees. Make that a little bit darker. 54 degrees. All right, so now, knowing that this is a triangle, we know that angles in a triangle add to 180 degrees. So if we have all but one of the angles, we can solve for this missing angle here. Let's call it y. All right, let's say we need to solve for y in order to solve for x. So using that triangle here, we know that 20 plus 54 plus y is equal to 180 degrees. Now again, that y, you can choose any variable you want. It's just a placeholder for me to help me solve this. So 20 plus 54 is 74. And again, I might be going too fast for you, so just make sure you pause throughout the video if you're feeling like this is going way too fast. So I subtract 74 on both sides. I'm going to get y is equal to 106 degrees. So if I know that this angle here is 106 degrees, I know that angle x plus angle y are supplementary. They are on a straight line. So I know angle x plus 106 is equal to 180. All right, because this angle here is 106 degrees right here. All right. So if I were to subtract 106 from both sides, I know angle x is equal to 74 degrees. So x is equal to 74 degrees. All right. Again, pause the video. I'm moving on to the next one. This one is very similar to another one that we've already done, but there are different numbers involved here. So once again, we're told about the parallel lines. So I know that line L is parallel to line M. And that's also parallel to line N. Okay? And then we know that P is a transversal. So this one's kind of nice. Like the other one, we had to kind of extend it out and try to figure out, where those transversals went. This one's already extended for us. So here we know, let's go and start marking our congruent angles. Okay? I'll go and start with angle x. So I want to find all the angles that are congruent to angle x. So that angle, this corresponding angle, right, and then this corresponding angle z, and then this angle. All right, hopefully you guys are like, oh, okay, yeah, like I know how she's doing all this by now, right? Because I try to do it in class a lot too. And then let's go in and mark all the others. So I want to use that color. All right, so then this angle here, duplicate it and drag it on down to its corresponding angle, and this corresponding angle here, and then flip it over to its vertical angle, and then now start lining up all those other corresponding angles here. Okay? Alrighty, so now we can see a little bit more about which angles are equal to each other. Now we're given important info again, just like that first problem we did, I believe it was. We know 2 times angle x, 2 times angle x is equal to 3 times angle y. All right, now let's see how we can plug that in. We know angle y is this pink one here. So this tells us angle y plus angle x are supplementary. They add up to 180 degrees because they create an angle on that straight line. So I know angle x plus angle y is equal to 180 degrees. Now there's no way for me to solve this right now. I need just one variable. So I'm going to go ahead and solve for x up here. I'm going to divide both sides by 2 to get the angle x by itself. So now I'm going to have angle x is equal to 3 times angle y, all divided by 2. Let me make this a little bit. Oh, nope. Oh, I hate how it does that. Alright, make that a little bit bigger. It's super duper tiny. Alright, so I divided both sides by 2 in order to get the angle x by itself, and now I can take that 3 times angle y and substitute it in for my angle x placeholder here. Because angle x is equal to 3 times angle y divided by 2. Hopefully we're in agreement there. And then we have plus angle y equals 180 degrees. So now, like, technically I could combine 3 times angle y divided by 2 to angle y. You could always convert 3 over 2 into a decimal and have 1.5. But I want to show you guys how to eliminate that denominator of a 2 here. If you guys multiply this entire equation by a 2, you will eliminate that denominator of 2 as well. Okay, so if we were to multiply it all, I could just cancel out my 2's there, but I'm going to show you why it works. So we have 2 times 3 times angle y, all divided by 2, plus 2 times angle y is equal to 2 times 180. Okay, now here, what we have here is 2 divided by 2 is just 1. So that eliminates that denominator. So now I have 3 times angle y plus 2 times angle y equals 360 degrees, 180 times 2. And now, just like angle y is just a variable, if you combine these two, 3 times angle y plus 2 times angle y is 5 angle y. It's equal to 360. And then if we divide both sides by 5, we get angle y is equal to 72 degrees. We are definitely not done. They're not asking for angle y here, right? They are asking for angle z. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start labeling all of the ones I know are 72. They're all the pink ones. Those are all 72 degrees. And then I notice the pink and the blue are supplementary. So 180 minus 72 is 108 degrees. So all of the blue ones are equal to 108 degrees. So angle Z is 108 degrees. Alright, so again, pause the video. I hope that this helped you out. That was my last example problem. So go ahead and make sure that you improve your score on that Khan Academy assignment. Have a good one.